Immerse yourself in the profound insights offered by Father Chuck Belmonte as he delves into daily reflections on various gospel passages from the Bible.
How should I learn to choose with God? Some young people and adults are torn between the desire to follow Christ and the fears that slow their progress. In the midst of a culture of indecision, where an abundance of options does not always mean knowing how to choose, discernment appears to be one of the most urgent spiritual tasks for contemporary Christians. How do I know what God wants from me? How can I avoid getting caught up in speculation without ever taking action? To have the right discernment, or the art of choosing wisely, there is a sure way to always want what God wants, to choose with Him. Discernment is not about remaining in thought indefinitely, but about learning to desire what God desires and walking toward it freely. Discernment does not begin with emotions, but with the use of intelligence and will. Thus, the first obstacle to discernment is the lack of criteria, ways of thinking that do not conform to the gospel and that lead to interpreting reality through distorted lenses. Without an educated intellect, the soul goes astray into misinterpretations. The second obstacle concerns the will. There is often internal resistance that prioritizes personal desires over the will of God. Many times it is not a matter of choosing between good and bad, but between good and better, or between what is comfortable and what is true. When my preferences take precedence over God, desires become disordered, and discernment becomes confused. Discernment is not an abstract theory, but a daily practice. It involves continually asking oneself, what does God want from me here, now, in this specific circumstance? This perspective prevents reducing discernment to exceptional moments or dramatic choices, and makes it possible to recognize God's will at work, whether in family life or studies. There is a frequent danger, confusing discernment with perpetual reflection on the same issue. Prolonged indecision results in evading commitment, like those who look at a path without daring to take the first step. Some believers remain at a theoretical level without moving from idea to action, from truth to charity. Discernment must always lead to decision, even if there is a risk of making mistakes, because grace acts in movement, not in paralysis. In the vocational realm, there are several common myths among those seeking guidance. Regarding marriage, there is a temptation to build unrealistic expectations, projecting desires and emotions without confronting them with the gospel. Many ask why there is no someone destined exclusively for me, when in reality the Christian is made for God, and only from Him can one avoid falling into distorted dependencies. The decisive question is not, what do I want, but what does God want from me? Yet God respects human freedom and never replaces it. Hence, discernment does not mean not making mistakes, but taking risks in following Christ, knowing that He accompanies and corrects us along the way. Right discernment will bring order to my intelligence, purify my desires, and direct my will toward the greatest good, union with God.
I would be delighted to extend an invitation to you once again tomorrow for another insightful reflection on the gospel by Father Belmonte.